You're gonna have to share the stuff again. Um, what's going on, everyone? It's your boy at Big Game James underscore 36 with my guy at Struggle Made 105, and this is Inside Drills, another Victory Saturday edition. Man, we can get used to this, man. It's back to back Saturdays. Huh? What is this? What
Man,
does this feel like? We got 2 wins over Power Five teams. North Carolina was supposed to whoop our behind, and Sam Howell, congratulations, you played yourself. If you would have come to Florida State, things would have probably been different anyway. You're a really talented quarterback. But now the school you shunned, you are he's two and he's got 2 losses. So he got 1 victory.
yeah.
So congratulations, sir. You played yourself. So, but bigger congratulations again to Coach Norvell and crew and a kid that we have been big supporters of. Man, for a kid who they say can't throw, he sure as hell was throwing that thing. That boy was throwing that thing.
Listen, man. He balled out, and that's my player of the game from this game. We were talking about the running game, Corbin and Ward, and they did their thing, but man, we didn't expect that from Jay Trav. We know what he can do with his legs, but he absolutely balled out and showed composure all game.
The biggest thing is his composure. I have seen some of these comments on Twitter, and it's ridiculous. Do you have any idea how hard it is to get 5 completions in a row, let alone 11? Like, my man had 11 completions in a row at one time, hit multiple different wide receivers, was on it, didn't panic, used his legs, tons of things going. And the only negative I have in all of this is, what could our record be if we would have just done what my high school coach used to say with quarterbacks? You got to dance with the lady you bring, no matter how she looks. You can't ditch her for the prom queen because she's now hitting on you. You got to go with who's got you there. And again, all credit, there's no beef and those guys. Well, one, it's college, man. And even in pros, for the most part, you're competing a little bit more. But, like, you don't really dislike the guys. You want to play. But those are the guys you spend most of your time with. So it's not really a lot of hate. Like, at the end of the day, they all want to win. But Mackenzie Milton provides something for you. But I'm just sitting here thinking, what would the Wake Forest game have been like if they ran that exact same formula? What could Jacksonville State have been if they just played them? And, like, now as a fan base, let's just roll with what we got. I'm not saying he ain't Winky. He ain't Jameis. He ain't Charlie Ward. He's Jordan Travis. And he's doing a damn good job. And he's won all the games that you've won in your career, Coach Norvell. So I'm not here to tell you what to do or how to do your job, but I'm just deductive. One could deduce that if I want to continue to win, I need to roll with this guy. And now you have time to develop your Chuba Purdy's. You have time to get an AJ Duffy. And one more thing before I let you get it. What a way to win when it seems like everything is starting to crumble. You're recruiting some of the guys you were supposed to be the lead on for recruiting. You got guys saying, man, you know what? I'm still committed, but I'm peaking. And I'm going to go check, which that means you're not committed, which is fine. I think these kids commit too quick. But these guys are talking about what they got to do and what they're doing, and boom, you go out and you punch North Carolina. You do what you did last year to North Carolina, but for 4 quarters. Last year, you punched North Carolina in the mouth, and you were just – when they finally woke up, they were starting to come on you. You were just hoping, like, oh, my God, let's run this clock out. This time, you not only punched them in the mouth, you stepped on their throat. There is some things that I have, some questions I have, but we'll get into that later. But bottom line is, God damn it, we won.
Listen, man, I went on the bookie app today, and I see my nose. I don't know, y'all kind of, you and Quez earlier this week, I was like, man, I'm going with it. I seen the spread. I was like, nah, And I seen the money. I put the money down and I seen the spread. I was like, nah, I'm gonna get risky. We going for the win. Hey man, my nose got it for me. I don't know if I'm happy about the fact that they got a win or the fact that they covered my money. I'm feeling like
that's
KD
a double win right there, man. That's a double win.
Double win. We might have to get on that oil tonight. But yeah, it was a great game from the offensive side, man. Great scheme. I love the plays that they drew up on those. And then we're not just hitting big plays, we're sustaining long drives. While even after losing one of our best offensive linemen in Taylor. So that was a big hit, and early on in the game, you didn't know if that was going to hurt us, and we still went on to drive the ball down the field and sustain these long drives. And it was huge. Jordan Travis improvising, man. He faked me out a few times on that read option. I'm thinking that Corbin and Ward still got the ball. So, like you said, him in there running that offense, it takes it to a completely different level. We're not asking them to be Jameis Winston, Charlie Ward, any of those guys. He's Jordan Travis. He's not going to beat him, but he's pretty special when he's rolling. So let's roll with him and let's keep this thing rolling, man. We got a bye week coming next week. I'm looking forward to it.
Hey, we got some. Speaking of that, just right now, if you're not following at Inside Drills on Twitter, go stop what you're doing at Inside Drills on Twitter. First and foremost, we're giving you knowledge that everybody stop listening to these people who ain't never played ball. I'm not even saying I'm not suggesting that if you never played ball that you don't know it, because I'm not one of those guys. But what did we say the other day? You can run the ball no matter how many people. If you love, real men love the box. I don't know a man who don't like box. We like beating boxes up. We like doing all that stuff. Everything we can do to the box, we love to do it to the box. That's man. What they played today was man ball. But you would have heard this. Now, I couldn't be a homer with fifth quarter. I had to write, but I wrote 31-28, which was, if you know, that was the score last year. But I did put North Carolina. But when I got that, Quez got at me too. We started talking. I'm like, man, you know what? Man, fuck them. We run the ball. J-Trav can throw. Every time, am I the only person who's noticing this? For a guy who everybody says can't throw the ball deep, damn near every time he throws the ball deep, something good happens. It's a touchdown or something. So, again, it was masterful. Dilly, bravo to you, Dilly. Good job, Dilly. Listen, dog, don't reinvent the wheel. Let's not reinvent the wheel. Force them. Let's finally have a game where they actually shut our run game down. Because there hasn't been one. They shut the run game down, and we got to throw it. Hey, man, God bless. But right now, this is the big part. But I do want to say one thing before we get into it. There's one person in the FSU, he's been kicked off. It's an accomplishment. He's been kicked off every message board that you can think of affiliated with Florida State. 247, War Chant. I don't know if he did Tomahawk Nation or No Game Day. He's this is how bad it is, Freddie. He's my friend, and I can't protect him. Like, I'm like, dog, what you want? He's like, Jazz, kick me out. What you, dog? This is like, I can only go back and tell them to bring you back 6 times, man. Like, 6 times is enough, man. Come on, bro. Like, you know what you're doing, man. You know what you're doing, and you're not playing by the rules. But I will say 90% of the arguments that he got into on fifth quarter was over Jordan Travis. And what he did, and he's right, that's why I'm giving him props. On a beach in Sosúa, Dominican Republic, he was eating fish. I think it was red snapper, red beans and white rice. I had some chicken and red beans and white rice. It was right before we got massaged by, I think, that Haitian woman. And he literally said Jordan Travis needs to be the starting quarterback at Florida State 2 years ago. I think it was Willie Taggart's going into Willie Taggart's last season. He said that should be the guy. And then when Tag left, he was really on the Jordan Travis bandwagon. Like, this needs to be our guy. He has consistently done it. People have fought him. People have argued with him. I think I'm trying to figure out, because I don't know if he doesn't have a family in the DR, because he goes to the DR every month. I don't want to know if Jordan Travis is his illegitimate baby. That's how much he'd be caping for Jordan Travis. But my man Brandon, aka Bearded Legacy, on all your stuff, I'm going to, so that you can talk your shit, I am going to personally go tell the people at Fifth Quarter that we need to go lift your band, so that you can go in there, and because you deserve, because of how hard some people went after you, you deserve your opportunity to go gloat for 1-3. And I put up there too. I couldn't believe it. I love it. They Dexter's Laboratory. I don't know if you got a chance to watch Dexter's Laboratory, because I remember when it first started. But stun on them hoes. That is the picture that will be for this edition of the podcast. 1-3, go stun on them hoes, because that's what he did today. Is he stunned on all the naysayers and all them hoes. Ooh, boy, I'm so geek. I'm with you now. What oil are you drinking tonight?
Man, I don't know. We got a few options up in there, man. I don't know if I'm gonna hit the Crown, Hen Dog, whatever, but we're gonna see.
I'm going to 3 Forks to get me a steak, and I'm going to get something to drink, and then I'm gonna smoke and spit. I'm shit. My homeboys texted me like, bro, it's North Carolina. Y'all went in the storm the field, man. But them motherfuckers ain't us. Right now, I'm cool. I'm happy. I'm geeked. I'm going to go eat an expensive steak, smoke an expensive cigar, and drink something stupid, and enjoy myself.
Man, listen, y'all always bother me about how I be looking like an unlocked character when the lights ain't on me. Now you see now I got a two-face thing going on. One side of my face dark than the other side. So you gotta make sure you have your lighting right, man.
Yeah, you gotta get when you do the lighting, because it happens with me when I wear my hat. It give you the shade. You gotta have lights on both sides, bro. Like you gotta brighten or set it up right down the middle. So it's coming right at you, dog. You gotta have. But nah, man. What good? This is what we do every week on Inside Drills when we do our victory, loss, no matter what it is the good, bad, and the ugly. So we're gonna save the good. Like, what were some things that you saw that in the game that you probably would like to see change?
2 weeks in a row, we struggle with running quarterbacks. Just staying in our rushing lanes. Even when it isn't design runs, they're giving us trouble. I don't know how many yards Howard had tonight, but he killed us. And that's something we got to get corrected, because we're going to face a few more running quarterbacks throughout the season. So we definitely got to get that corrected. And just one thing I'll say as well is discipline in some areas. I seen early on, we got that false start early in the game, and I kind of knew it was coming because I knew they weren't going to go for it in their territory. And guys got to know that. I was kind of worried about 91 in that situation. I think later in the game, he kind of got away with a late hit. People saying he couldn't really throw himself down. I was like, nah, he lunched. He really should be thrown out of the game at this point because he lunched into this guy late. So just keeping our composure in games like that and staying disciplined, that's one thing I noticed early on.
Yeah, definitely. That's something. We're still this would be my bad will be the third down situations. I think I've said this before. I think Coach Fuller is a better defensive coordinator than what people give him credit for. I won't go and say anything about last year, but I will say this year, even the plays where he gets ripped for, like the Jacksonville State, it was like you can't say the guys weren't in position to make a play. Guys have been in positions most of the time to make a play. Third down, encroachment. We have guys who should have this reaching out instead of putting a body on the quarterback because you're there. You're just being it's lazy to not take that extra step to be able to get a body on them, and it looks cooler to get the arms and reaching back. Not being able to get the inability to be able to get off the field is what will come back to haunt you. And like you said, you got the DJ kid at Clemson. You got quite a few other scrambling quarterbacks that we're going to face. But if they get that cleaned up a little bit, I think you'll see a complete change in the paradigm or the talks of what FSU's fan base is talking about right now. Because I don't think you get anywhere I definitely don't believe you get anywhere by firing Mike, Coach Norvell. You have to give a guy their time. But I also don't believe that with what's happened to these young men, you get anywhere by firing another coordinator, offensive or defensive. Defensively, luckily, they've had more consistency in the voice. He had 2 years of Barnett. You had now you've had 2 years of Fuller. You had 2 years of my guy who's at Alabama now, the defensive coordinator. He's not defensive coordinator. He was our defensive coordinator. Anyways, with Jimbo, you had consistency with your coordinators outside of the 1 year with Pruitt. But on offense, you had multiple offenses. You had probably too many offensive coordinators during this time. So, but I think that third down, and then I'll say, really offensively, there isn't really much that I can go, and unless I'm being nitpicky, and I don't think this is the time to be overly nitpicky. This is the time to congratulate guys for a big win and doing what they needed to do. I personally just believe that a lot of our problems can be solved by getting themselves off the field. Because think about when Cooper did that, right? The first quarter, UNC's offense, by the time we got the ball the second time, UNC's offense had been on the field for 11 minutes and 50 seconds. And we took over just a little over a minute off the clock for our second possession. And I got people telling me the offense needs to get in the gear. I'm like, shit. The offense ain't been on the field, baby. This is the second time the offense has been on the field. Like, what do you want them to do? You got to get yourself off the field when you get third down situations. So what do you got good? Look, I guess that might have been the ugliest there, or was it ugly and bad similar?
Yeah, my bad was getting off the field, and the ugly was we got to find a way to stop these quarterbacks. Like you said, we got a lot of them coming down the course of the season.
My bad is that we're still allowing players to get behind us. So if that's happening, we can't keep putting these guys in man situations. Now, I will say this, that when you don't think your players are very smart, you put them in man because now there ain't no thinking. Like, I jokingly say this. I have a better time coaching my son's I-9 football team with 8 and 9-year-olds than coaching high school or talking to college kids. And it's not because I don't like the high school and college kids. It's just that they don't realize that they're as dumb as the 8-year-olds sometimes. And it's not enough. It's just like, but the 8-year-olds at least know that they don't know. The other guys, you know everything, but you get beat. So people are like, why do you, like other teams are? I gotta show you some of this film. It's crazy. These cats ran cover 3 on me, man. Not cover 3, excuse me. They ran cover 1, and I'm like, why are you doing this to your guys? Like, this doesn't make. Why is you're blitzing too? When I got 4 cats. Like, I got cats, man. You need to your best bet is to try to match up. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. I run man because my guys aren't. It's not that they're dumb. I ain't got time to keep telling them not to move out your zone because they're athletic. And athletic people want to feel athletic. They want to make plays, and nothing makes you feel more confident until you get burnt than man coverage. But in all of that, like Miko got a couple times. Has Sam Howell not been running for his life, and he been able to follow through with that throw, Miko, you're beat. Like, you shouldn't. He runs it, breaks it up, but we're still doing that. And then I would like to see a killer instant. I would have loved us to come out the first drive of the second half and score, knock the team out, and then I would have loved that defense to been able to hold them. All that going back and forth, man, that's not good for your health. Like, get yourself off. So that's my bad. But now let's hit them with the good, man. What you got good?
Yeah, man, we talked about the bad getting off the field on third down. When that offense started rolling, man, the defense started getting some stops for us. So I'll include that as part of my good. But man, a lot of the good that we saw today came from the offensive side of the ball. And Jordan Travis had a hell of a game. But shout out to the coordinators. We bothered them earlier this week saying stick with that running game. Stick with the running game. They stuck with the running game today. And when we got up, we were able to run the clock out and take control of that game and get out of Chapel Hill with a victory. So shout out to Jordan Travis. Everything he's endured this season, all the noise outside, it seems like he always has to deal with people being confident in what he can do. But he showed up today. And like you said, he's our quarterback going forward, and we're rolling with him. And keep feeding those monsters in the backfield.
That's basically it, man. I'm gonna go with defense first. The good is we got an interception that mattered. North Carolina's driving down. Number 7 is that Brownlee.
That's
Who's
Jones.
number 7? Who?
Jones, Jarron Jones.
My bad, Jarron Jones. We've been picking on a lot of them. Now he has times when he got beat too, but we ain't talking about that. We talking about the situation where, and we saw this in Notre Dame with Travis Jay. We've seen this with a lot of our DBs. They're there, but they just don't know how to reach up, grab the ball, do whatever. But he was not only in position, but he got the interception, grabbed it, and that was a really, really key and important thing. So I want to say, that's something that we saw.
I want to say something to him after you. I know last week I kind of got on him, but I think he played his former teammate and he laughed, smiling.
Oh yeah, laughing and kiki.
Yeah, but listen, you showed up. You got a huge interception. Like this inside drill. When you do it wrong, we're gonna call it out. But when you do it right, we're gonna salute you. So shout out to you for making a huge play. That offense went down and scored after that, man. Shout out to you. If you ball, hey, we're gonna shout you out just like we're gonna call you out when you ain't doing it right.
Right. And I would say unfortunately it was from it was bad illegal hands to the face on that drive. But I want to say, Johnson came in with some big stuff, man. I thought he killed Sam Howell. What was cool about it was everything that you want to show an NFL team. He beat the tackle, running back comes in, beats the running back, and it comes back up and catches the quarterback not looking and could have knocked him asleep. I'm shocked he held on to the ball. So things like that are inspiring to see on defense. That's stuff that you want to see when you got recruits on the defensive side of the ball wavering right now. You want them to see progress. Big shout out to Coach JP on that because, these guys have been working. Johnson, and a lot of people were like, where's he gone? He disappeared. Nah, it was just really good pocket movement by Sam Howell, and that Sam Howell showing why he's a really good quarterback. He's very difficult to bring down. He's strong. That short stockiness helps him. But really, the good comes from the two Seans and Travis. So Trayshawn, Jay Sean, Jordan Travis. And that's really where, we talked about it with Jaquez, is we need 30 carries minimum between them. So I'm in the camp that Jordan Travis could do way more than what they've given to him. You can only run the plays that they called. And there were a lot of things that I didn't necessarily like last season. But moving forward here, when you have a quarterback that you're still trying to develop, you're still trying to see what they can do, you have to limit their opportunities to turn the ball over or be put in quote-unquote bad situations. So I said this with Trevor Lawrence with the Jags. I said this with Blake Bortles before. If you got a car, it says 120, it says 160. You ever notice that, well, if you're stupid like me or you've been in the country, I know you done this in the country, you didn't have it straightaway. Then you said, man, I'm going to floor this thing. If you ever floored it and you notice, it never can go past like 140 or never can go past a certain amount. It has the capability to go there, but there's this thing called the governor that once you get to a certain point, it literally keeps you at that point. You can't go any further than that. So what we need to do is or in baseball terms, it's called a pitch count. We need to go into a game saying, hey, if we're going to have 80 plays, we need 50 plays to be a run. And then we need 30 plays to be passing. Or even, I'd go 60 and have only 20 passes. And in that passes, he may be able to scramble. In those runs, it doesn't mean we're giving Jay Sean and Trey Sean the ball all the time. It could be jet sweeps. It could be a lot of different things like that. I'll count screens like that as well. Because today, if you notice, it wasn't just the runs. It was using the screen game off of the option, which was kind of cool. Because he's moving, the running back's looking like he's blocking, then the guy comes in, he slips, throws the ball, tosses the ball to him, however you can get. We're getting 6-7 yards with that. So being able to do that in time of possession, I think this is the first game where we probably, if I go back and look at it, outside of the first quarter, we literally dominated the time of possession, and that's how you win games. Good defense, solid run game, no turnovers. You should win more of the games that you're in than you don't.
Man, you just said something that was in my head. I remember Notre Dame game. I think we came out and ran a whole bunch of screens that didn't work. But today we got the run game going, and then you seen the screen game working off of it, and it was beautiful. I was like, man, has this coaching staff ever seen a screen work before in practice? Why do they keep running them? Well, now they've understood. Like we got a backfield of guys that can make things happen. Let's use the screen game off of that. And that's what they did today. And every time they utilized that screen game, UNC was not prepared for it, and it worked beautifully.
Right. And the attitude of the team is dictated by the coaches. So I heard one of the announcers discuss that, Kenny Dillingham, they wanted to run the ball inside more, but they felt like they couldn't. But, like I said, we've said, like, the stats prove that you can. But one of the strong suits that this team has had, because we've all complained about the offensive line since you were there, Freddie. So that's dating back to 2014. People have been complaining about the offensive line since then. But one thing that Florida State's been able to do outside of a couple of years is run the ball. So when you can run the ball, that doesn't mean your offensive line isn't trash. If you're one of the top running, like that means they do that well. That means you're forcing them to do something that they aren't really good at, which is the opposite of what any coach or any coordinator wants to do. So for the first time, I think in this 1.5 years that we've seen with Coach Norvell, we've seen them adapt a strategy to the players and the talent that they have. That's development. And that's what's the difference between, I hate to bring up a rival, with what Dan Mullen has done in Florida, what Tennessee has done with Heupel, what Texas has done with Sarkisian, what Arkansas has done with Pittman, and so on and so on. Instead of them going in and saying, hey, we have to have, this is what I do, you have to do it this way. This is what's here. Okay, what can I do that I like this way? And I'll start adding pieces. And so until you get your quarterback, Jay Trav is your quarterback. So you have to do the things that make Jay Trav better. And that's what we saw tonight. Downhill running game. Very little east to west. The east to west was with the screens. So a screen that we used to do all the time, that was for whatever reason. It was effective because we did this play all the time. And you posted something earlier this week which piggybacks off of this. Not necessarily what Norvell does, but how you set things up. You showed a play from Georgia where the fullback basically looked like a sprint draw. The fullback goes in, misses the linebacker like he's running a sprint draw. Linebacker fields, slips it, ball's right there, catches it, 2-point conversion. I believe it's 2-point conversion or touchdown, whatever. Your screen game worked because everybody has film of Jordan Travis stretching here, or you running the option, or the zone read. They respect it. The defense has to respect it. So now these things kind of come back. Now, when Cam McDonald had a screen that was good, but we used to run, which kind of Cam McDonald's screen was similar to the screen that I used to run when I was at Florida State. Well, basically, it's slam release. The guy comes, you got to hit him, push him off because you're acting like you're missing the block, and then boom, you get the ball. Everybody's dropped back to see the pass, and now you're able to get, even if you're able to get 10 yards, it's basically an extension of your running game because it's not deep down the field. And then what Jay Trav can do with his legs. Also, my bad, shout out to this. We didn't give up a sack. I don't know when the last time we didn't give up a sack. So, Coach Atkins, I owe you some cigars. Offensive line, again, y'all did very well. When you do well, people talk about you well. Don Draper on this show called Mad Men said, if you don't like what people are saying about you, do something to change the conversation. Winning games definitely does something to change the conversation.
Spot on. That's spot on, man. I'm feeling good, man. I got one more to bring it home, man. On my parlay, but we looking good.
All right. Well, the boys got a bye week next week, so hopefully they'll rest up, heal up. They'll get into no trouble or anything. We're gonna work it out, get some real special guests inside the inside drill, so we can talk a little bit more about the success that Florida State is having these last 2 weeks. What's changed? What's the locker room like? No better way to change the locker room culture and get the locker room on your side than winning games. So now a 2-4 team that had a lot of things happening that seemed to be trending in the wrong direction seems to be having some positivity moving into the bye week. You go, you beat UMass, you line up for 3-4. You line up at 3-4 for a really, really good game against Clemson in Death Valley, which should be rocking. And you go there and you shock the world, even though Clemson's down, but it's still, statistically speaking, from a rankings perspective, they're a better team than you. But you go in there, you shock the world, and everything is all good. Because then you become 500, and now we're talking about potential to go to bowl games, potential to go to different things like that. And that's why you play the game. You play the game to win championships, but the bowl game is, in theory, a championship. So I don't have nothing else, man. Besides, I'm all smiles and Hallmark cards.
Yeah, man, I'm good. I'm gonna tap in with you behind the scenes about potential guests for next week. But man, I'm feeling good. I'm finna enjoy the rest of my night.
Me too, man. All right, man. Hey, you guys enjoy the weekend. If wins were easy to come by, everybody would have them. Enjoy the win. Don't let anybody take it away from you. And don't talk bad about what you think the quarterback should have done, what you think they should have done, this, that, and the other. Let's just good vibes only. And October 23rd is homecoming. That's the next game we have. Every one of y'all that's on this feed, every one of y'all that goes so hard for Florida State, whether you good, bad, indifferent, if you got an opinion, your ass needs to be in that stadium. Depending on when the kick is, will depend on if we have a tailgate. But I know I'll be in the building. We're giving tickets to kids. So if you're interested, if you're not going but you have tickets, make sure you inbox me, hit me up. We'll also be fundraising to be able to buy the tickets for the kids. We've put about, I think I've had about 500 seats so far. No, we got 300 for the first game. No, 600. We've had about 600 seats that have been filled this season due to you guys' donations. We want to make sure we keep feeling dope. Let's get over 1,000, baby. Let's do more. All right. See you guys next week when we do our edition of Inside Drills.